Welcome to Riverbend Talent on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
Your mic's not on. I can't hear your mic.
We're live, man.
I know.
Okay.
There we go.
They
there
that
he
mic,
is.
Remember, but then they took the sign away.
They did. Wow. It's our first time being back in the
I
studio.
wanted to mess up right off the bat, or people would be like, this ain't the right show. This ain't the right show. You're the wrong guys, man. They're going to turn the channel.
Welcome to Riverbend Talent. We have not been on the air live.
Mention Matt.
We have not been brought to you by Halpin Music Company and by Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance. And we appreciate both of them for sponsoring us for so long and keeping us on the air to come in and let you know what's going on in the Riverbend. But this is our first live show back in the studio since the March 11th shelter in place and the COVID hit. So it's kind of unusual for us, even though we've done this for years. It's just a little bit different. I
got headphones.
There we go. We didn't have any headphones. They switched a few buttons, but we're in control now.
Well, everybody's got their own headphones now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
For years, we were just happy to come in here and just grab it, whatever's laying around, right?
Right.
Well, all these changes, Pigpen, and man. Did you mention Matt, by the way?
I did. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance and Halpin Music Company.
Right. That's why we're here. And Matt, I noticed, was pumped that we were back on live. Gave us a little kudos on our post about,
nice.
How we held it together through the thing. I mean, we got him fooled. As long as we keep him fooled, Pigpen.
Right.
We got half our sponsors.
Well, you
and
know.
Appreciation to Halpin Music, man, because, wow, they've had to go through some crazy times.
I mean, literally,
well.
They couldn't be open. They had to go to online lessons. I mean, really, kudos to them and kudos to the whole world.
Everybody.
Because we've all had to learn how to do things a little different than what we did them before. And it was a continual learning on some level. Like, we started doing our interviews through Facebook because almost everybody has Facebook. It was easy to call them up on a chat. I think we did a couple through Skype, and then we realized everybody's got Facebook. Not everybody's got Skype.
Yep.
But then just last week, we interviewed Steve Scorfina, and he wanted to do Zoom.
Zooming.
And so suddenly we had to learn one more,
Yeah, and we had a couple of nights. The night we did Pat Liston, where he waited probably about 45 minutes for us to get things squared away, didn't he?
It was long enough. I remember him saying, we were having some technical issues, and he said, "Hey guys, just so you know, I'm on my third glass of wine, so if we don't do this soon,
Yeah. But man, and that's what it takes. Both sides being patient. And,
absolutely.
So everybody's trying to get back out there and do it. Not everybody's opened up. And some people are opened up different than other places. So everybody kind of trying to feel it out and see what's going on. Like tonight, down at Morrison's, they're doing the sea shanty, sing-along.
Yeah.
In the streets.
Oh, nice. Smart.
Yeah.
So smart. Outdoor, where the wind can blow and the sun can shine.
Well, yeah, and how many people maybe don't even know what goes on in there on Thursday nights? That might just be walking by tonight and going, hey, that's pretty cool. Everybody's singing along.
Yeah.
I should do this more often.
Great idea, Morrison's. Great idea. And I'm going to say something before we get started in this. I just heard a term Sunday afternoon that maybe is more, everyone else would be like, well, yeah, but I heard the term soft opening. I was talking to a guy.
I'm going to have to relearn the English language.
Right?
With all these terms that are coming out.
I was talking to a guy who's going to be reopening a club, and he said, in a few weeks, we're going to have our soft opening.
Okay.
And then we're going to have the hard opening a month or so later. And I said, well. So
I guess it depends on how you like it, soft or hard. You can decide or go to both.
I never heard the term that used for a bar opening and he said basically it's that they're going to try and keep the crowds sparse and encourage social distancing within the bar, and then they're hoping in 2 months it's all over and we can get back to normal. Everybody wants to get back to normal.
Yeah.
I think, so.
Well, they're giving it a shot out there.
Yeah.
Some of them are saying, hey, you know what? Let's just wait. Let's just wait it out.
Yeah.
Till a certain date. You know, I see a lot of places are kind of holding off till July, it looks like.
Yeah.
So it all depends on the place. So that's what we're going to do. We got to talk to Brad Hampton here in a little bit.
Yeah.
He's the drummer from over on Thursday nights. He's not working right now at the National Blues Museum. I don't think they fired back up yet.
No, he said he didn't use the term soft opening, but I will use it now. They have a soft reopening that's going to be just the museum, no bands playing or anything, but you can go in and see all the things within the museum. And then they're going to have the hard opening happen where bands start playing again and crowds come in. I was just talking to a venue owner today that has an outdoor venue that he says the way I read the law is gatherings of over 50 or under 50 are allowed. And we've got so many acres, we can have 50 people on these acres and 50 people on and I mean, I think everybody's looking at it in different lights because we're all humans, and that's what freedom is that we all get to kind of choose.
I think that's the key because, you know, we've seen photos of places that, maybe not so much social distancing going on, you know, because there's too much fun being going on. So I guess the best way to approach it is, hey, depending on how you feel, then you decide whether to go out and check out a live performance, right?
If you don't feel safe, then you probably shouldn't go because you're probably not going to have a good time anyway.
Did you go out last weekend?
I did not go out last weekend.
I was up in the air as well.
Yeah, I wanted to go see Stubblefield was playing, and
I think Hookie was playing.
And Hookie was playing. There were several bands that are my friends that I really wanted to go support them and support the businesses and all that. And there was so much going on last weekend for me in my personal life that I couldn't. And I'm hoping that maybe this weekend being Father's Day, I might get a chance to...
Does that mean you get your way?
Well, I don't know if that really happens or not.
Well, we talked about Morrison's, and Germany not back doing it yet, but they do have a drive-through. I just want to mention that. So I'm going to kind of go over some of them we always go over, and I'll just, tell the folks what they're doing specifically. Excellent. Now, the Raging Cajun's doing their open mic with Jamie Dunn.
Awesome.
So that's going on tonight. I think it starts a little later. And then out at Baker's and Hale and Godfrey, Rob Schwartz on stage right now.
Excellent.
Check him out. Outlaw Opry. They're doing Grafton Music in the Park. That's what Stubblefield did last week. So Grafton, and kudos to Grafton, right? Here last year, a flood wipes out their businesses, right?
Right.
And they don't get started till halfway through the summer. That's when Grafton makes all their money. And then this year, bam, COVID hits.
Yeah.
And boy, did they not jump right out and start before everybody. Did you notice? They were ready. We've dealt with stuff like this, and they just went out and did it.
And they just announced the other day they're doing their fireworks on July 2nd.
There you go.
So I tell you what, I've been down to the Grafton fireworks. That crowd does not, that town does not get any more crowded than their fireworks display. So I believe they're going to have a big crowd. People are dying. People are not dying to get out. People are dying if they go out sometimes. Now, people
too soon?
Yeah, no. Too soon. People are really wanting to get out really bad because we're all missing our life.
All right. Do we have to do a disclaimer after that one? I don't know.
I bet. Yeah. These are not the thoughts and opinions. What's Smash say? These are not the thoughts and opinions of any other human being that has ever lived or ever will possibly.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I am happy to see that places are getting to reopen because some of them, like Bottle and Barrel, will never reopen.
Yeah.
Bottle and Barrel is shut down now. Something else probably going to happen with that building. It's a nice little building. Someone's going to pick it up, and it'll be a nice little venue. But Chris couldn't. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to just when your business is your income to just shut down for a few months and go, okay, I can do this. Yeah. So I'm happy to see these businesses that are making it. And you brought up Germania, that drive-through coffee, curbside coffee. Great idea.
Yeah.
If you haven't pulled up yet, they got a little menu outside. All you got to do is pull up in your car, and you get coffee handed in your window like a drive-through.
You love that.
Oh, yeah. You kidding me? I'm lazy. I don't want to get out and walk in.
Well, plus, I know what you're doing in the car. So anyways. Let's get back to the music.
Driving.
Dead Man's Bridge from 6 to 9 at Wiggler's and Holliday Shores tonight in Edwardsville. Is there a draft in here or something? I don't know. The Stagger Inn, not listing any bands yet, They are doing curbside carry out at the Stagger Inn.
All right.
So I don't think they fired back up. The back bar in Edwardsville, they straight up haven't opened yet. It still says we are not opening. So
Okay. Well,
I think Edwardsville's
let's
got a
hope
little
they do.
different vibe than some of these communities. Because the Holiday Shore one, that's not quite the city of Edwardsville, right?
Yeah, well, part of the Edwardsville School District.
Right.
It's not the city of Edwardsville, but it's part of their community. So.
Now, Old Harold Bakery in Collinsville, 10-String Dream, 6:30 tonight.
Ooh, I like that name, 10-String Dream.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like it.
That's something else, Pigpen. We're going to see some new band names, I bet you.
Yeah,
You
I'm
had
hoping.
2 months to sit around and think of a better name.
Why didn't I think of a better name for any of my bands? Man, what the heck? I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Okay, so also Granite City tonight, Scott and Mechelle, 6 p.m. at LaSalle's. Or is that LaSalle's? I don't know. We never have decided.
Did you get the Joshua Eaker and Company?
I skipped that one. I'm glad I brought that up. I went right past Jerseyville, didn't I?
Yeah.
How can you go from Collinsville past Jerseyville to Granite City without a time machine?
Well, you got to make a left at the big barn.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, back up to Jerseyville, Joshua Aker and Company. They're doing George's Local Brew, and they've got a new patio that they're using. A lot of these places have made new outdoor places to play their music now.
It's a good idea in this environment because I believe, sunshine and wind is always a good thing with this sort of thing going around, with any type of flu going around.
Right. We got at Deutz tonight, Ethan Jones, 6 p.m.
Nice.
In Pontoon Beach. Brad and Jerry at the Prairie Inn in Dorsey. And the Prairie Inn fired back up. They've got the patio going now, too. And then over in St. Louis, this is a neat idea, and we're talking to Steve Scorfina next week, and he was able to participate in one of these. So they've got a drive-in in St. Louis that they play bands and a movie.
Yeah.
Right? It's the old Mills Mall, right? Not doing anything with that. So they set it up, and you're in your cars watching the band. And something Steve mentioned that I didn't really get to touch on in that interview, but I'll bring it up now. He was saying it's really strange because you'd finish the song and it was quiet because everyone's in their cars.
There's no applause, yeah.
Which I'm used to, actually.
Yeah.
No, not because of that, Pig Man.
That's hilarious.
Not because of that. I played those biker rallies. Right. Everybody was camping.
Yeah.
And so, we'd finish and,
They might rev up their motorcycles.
Well, that was how you knew if you did good. When the bikes started firing up and they were driving towards the stage.
Yeah.
You did it. You got them out of the campsite.
So I want to encourage people who go to the drive-in in St. Louis and see Everett Dean and the Lonely Hearts at 5:30 p.m. Tonight. When they finish the song,
honk your horn.
Honk your horn, man.
Right.
Just not for a long time. Just give it a few beep, 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 beep. And that'll be your clapping for them. So
that's what Steve was talking about.
Steve Ewing is getting ready to do one of those here in July, and I'm gonna
tonight
have to reach
it's
out to
Everett Dean and the Lonely Hearts.
Yes, absolutely. There you go.
I don't know what the movie is, but they do a movie, right?
I guess so.
How about Jacoby's? Josh Grassley's been setting up little tents all over town playing.
I know.
Out here.
That's awesome.
In the Pocket Park. They're doing stuff. And down at the Commons, right? I haven't found too many posts on that stuff until after it's just about to happen.
Well, it's probably a little bit of a covert operation.
I wonder if he is. He's like, look, there's a spot. Set up the tent. Let's go, boys.
Well, I was kind of picturing, because I've seen a few things where it's like you don't hear about it till right before it happens.
Right.
And so I thought, well, a lot of people probably don't want to go advertising because they'll be there to shut you down and go, you've got more than 10 people here.
All right, so we wrapped up our Thursday night as far as what we know.
Is that is the end of Thursday night.
Pretty good, though. We got a page worth.
You know what? I'm happy.
Post-COVID.
Happy to see that, yeah. And
mid-COVID, we got to say.
Mid-COVID.
Because they're already planning for the second wave.
Well, flus do usually come back in the fall.
How can you plan for a second wave if you don't know how to... Never mind. We're not getting into all that. Anyways. Something tells me that... I'm just saying, it sounds like a script.
It
never
is
mind.
a script.
Never mind. Let's get back to the business in hand here.
Yes, yeah.
Some tarot reading going on.
Ah,
at Jacoby's night. So they're doing this art curbside thing, right?
Right.
And it's every Friday through the 26th. So, 2 more weeks?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, there you go. June 25th through 26th. Yes, that's 2 more weeks. Excellent.
And so that's going on at Jacoby from 7 to 8:30 on Friday. And then what else is going on? Jake Weber and Jerrod Gordon going to be playing at Chez, Maryland's at 7 o'clock on Friday night. Third shoe to be doing a DJ. What do you keep bumping over there? Something keeps going boom.
I did that.
Yeah.
And I heard it and I went, oh, don't do that again. Then I went and did it again.
Well, I started thinking that maybe you were, thinking you were playing an instrument there because it was starting to
feel like it.
There was some timing going on,
right,
which is confusing in the first place. But
all right, so
anyways,
third shoot, we got DJ Karaoke,
right.
8:30 p.m. at the third shoot in Alton.
At the Bon Air, Anthony Nanney and company from 3 to 7, and Champagne Fixx on Friday night at 8.
There we go. Doc Hollidays, 7 p.m. at Baker's and Hale and Godfrey.
Mm-hmm. Now the Pump House, they're closed, but they're renovating. It looks like they're adding a whole new building, basically.
Wow.
At least a section of a building.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, we got a connection down there. We need to get the Pump House on and see what's going on down there.
Okay.
Why are they renovating? And we know why they're renovating, but
Make it
what
bigger.
are they renovating? Yeah.
Yeah.
Give some specifics.
There have been so many renovations to that building in the past 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It's come a long way since it was Porky's.
Yeah. I remember Porky's. You're crammed in Porky's.
Yeah, I know.
You were porked into Porky's. And if you ate any pulled pork, you were porked right out the door. A lot of porking going on.
I got porked at Porky's. I got a shirt that says that. No, I don't know if I really
Hey, you remember that movie, Porky's?
I do.
That's probably where they got the name, right?
Yep, I think so.
That was a good movie.
I think so. There you go. So, Scott and Mechelle, 6 p.m. at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville. That's happening tomorrow, Friday night.
Friday, right. And then check this out. Not only is Anthony and Nanney playing at Fast Eddie's, then later, Anthony Nanney and Denver Wade Trent at a place called The Outlet at the Edison Entertainment Complex in Edwardsville.
Wow.
So they got their own little bar in there now.
Nice. You know what? Edisons is
a name for it.
It's a fun place.
Yeah. So the kids can go bowling and you can go watch the band.
That is a smart,
or the batting cages or all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. My kids are a little older now, but when my kids were little, I couldn't understand for the life of me why there weren't more places that had entertainment for adults where you could drink alcoholic beverages and listen to some music, and then a place for the kids to play in the meantime.
It's almost like you planned a festival that had that.
Yeah, I know.
We won't go there yet. We can't go there yet.
Yeah, well, Labor Day weekend,
it might be a private party. It might be a festival. We don't know yet.
It's looking like it's going to be a festival.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just talked to the owners today.
Okay.
And they are saying that Festi on come September.
Okay.
So 43 acres.
Now wait a minute. Is it going to be in August or September? I thought it was in August.
We have moved it back to September. That's as far back as we could push it. So I'm updating the web. This has all happened today.
Okay.
So the website is hopefully going to be updated by the weekend.
Okay. And we're talking about Framley Fest.
Yes.
Which there are links to at cottonmouth.org, which all these gigs are listed there too. So, the smart thing is to bookmark that, and then you can keep track each week
of all this stuff.
Right. Yeah. And,
Absolutely. So there you go. Who else we got going on?
Well, we were talking about Edisons there, so let's skip to the old Skylark Brothers, firing it back up, 7 p.m. at the Lake House at Buffalo Park in Maryville on Friday.
And then the Graham Band, 7 p.m. at the Cabin at Judy Creek in Glen Carbon.
Mm-hmm. 2-piece. 7 to 10, Peace spelled P-E-A-C-E, by the way. 7 to 10 on the patio at George's Local Brew in Jerseyville.
We got Hicktown, 6 p.m. at Deutz Village Inn in Pontoon Beach, Illinois.
Rogers and Nean House, 7 p.m. at the Elks in Granite City. This is all Friday night.
Yeah.
We go to the next page of Friday night, and Scott and Carl are playing up at the loading dock. And boy, that place was packed last weekend. 6 o'clock at the loading dock for Scott and Carl on Friday. And then over the Powerplex, STL, that's the drive-in we were talking about. Boogie Child with, how do you say that one? Aironi?
Yeah, Aironi.
5:30, right.
There you go.
At the drive-in. So that's all Friday night.
Yeah, that's
so
things are starting to happen again, man.
Should we fly through Saturday and then go to Bradhampton? Because, I mean, we got to get there before the bottom of the hour.
It is your choice, my
All right,
friend. Dealer's choice.
We're flying. Number 4 combo at Chez, Maryland's on Saturday night.
We got dueling pianos. Charlie Baracus,
Right.
Ian Tall, and Jason McAtee at the Raging Cajun Piano Bar.
That's Saturday night. The patio is open for live music. TBA is what they have listed at the Old Bakery Brewery in Alton.
Love those guys. Love those. They play everywhere,
They
too.
did. I had a really good experience during COVID with my band. It was curbside carryout. We were everywhere, dude.
Curbside.
You heard of us?
Yeah. I saw you were on every
I know. I was busy, man. I could barely breathe.
Is that your band up there on the marquee?
That is.
All right. That's awesome.
With extra sauce.
We also got
Beach Party.
Yeah, with Dr. Javagas at Third Shoot. Now there you go.
So Tommy Fleming brought in an entire beach for this.
Yes. Wayne Draper probably really did it all, but Tommy was a part of it, I'm sure. There's a huge beach out there now. They have a beach, and there's volleyball. There's an actual boat that you go in, and the bar's inside the boat. It's a huge area out there, so it's going to be a beach party with Dr. Javagas. Those guys, they get it, man.
Our guest last week, Tommy Fleming, Third Shoot in Alton. You can find out all about what they're doing there. Go back and check out the video. Jay and Waylon, 3 to 7, and then Champagne Fixx at 8 o'clock Saturday night at Fast Eddie's Bon Air. Roaming Home, 7 o'clock at Baker's and Hale and Godfrey on Saturday.
Nice. Got Backwoods Burden from 7 to 10 p.m. on the patio at George's local brew in Jerseyville.
Right, and let's see, patio and beer garden open at the franchise. They haven't started doing music. I think July maybe is when they're going to start. And then the longest day, Laka, maybe, right?
Yeah.
2 p.m. at the Hog Pit in Grafton.
We got Mo Pleasure, 3 to 7 p.m. at the Grafton Winery.
And then Trilogy at the Loading Dock in Grafton on Saturday.
Also on Saturday, the Owls, 6 to 10 p.m. up at Wild Pickens in Chesterfield, Illinois.
Right. And Lanny and Julie doing DeCamp Station in Staunton. Strange Buffalo at the 7:30 at the Old Harold Brewery in Collinsville.
I like that, Strange Buffalo. Okay. Dave Horton, 2 p.m. at the Foundry Public House in Edwardsville, Illinois.
Dave Horton from Riding Shotgun, who broke up during the COVID. Nothing bad. Just the other member, who I'm drawing a blank on because I don't have it in front of me, decided he was going to do some other thing. So Dave Horton solo now from Riding Shotgun. And then they're doing drive-in movies at the Cabin at Judy Creek, both Saturday and Sunday night. So they're setting up a movie screen out in the parking lot.
Awesome. I've done a bunch of private drive-in movies through the COVID thing, where we had just a big old screen, and we could all pull in our cars and just watch movies from it, which has brought the drive-in movies back, which is cool.
Yeah. Flip side, 7 p.m. at Hooch and 16s in Granite City. And
Hicktown. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to mention that Patrick's in Granite is open, but just an outdoor area. They haven't started bands, but they're planning a few here and there.
You go.
So now you can move to Hicktown.
Hicktown, 6 p.m. at Deutz Village Inn and Pontoon Beach.
And Doc Holliday Band fired back up, 8 p.m. at Rooster's Pub in Staunton on Saturday.
Then the Graham Band, 7 p.m. at the Turf Bar in Breeze, Illinois.
And wrapping up Saturday at Brushville with Molly Lovett, 8 p.m. at the Powerplex STL. That's the drive-in we were talking about, the old Mills Mall, right?
Yep, nice.
All right, let's do it, man. Let's do Sunday. What the heck?
You got it.
We're that close now. Sunday fun day, right?
You got
it.
And
once again, if you want to keep track and not have to remember all this stuff, just cottonmouth.org. All the links are there. It's free. Just bookmark it. You're ready to go. And I suggest road tripping it. Multiple bars.
Yeah.
Multiple live performances. But, that's if you're rolling around with me.
Well, with this list on the web and with everybody having the web on their phone, it's real easy.
It's easy.
And you don't have to search for it. When you log on to the cottonmouth.org, the first thing that comes up is the list of these bands, and it starts with the day that you're on. And so you can be out and go, hey, what else is going on? Well, let's go down the road 2 blocks and see this band for a set, and then go see,
Now, I do mainly Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yes.
and then I take a deep breath, and I come back and do it again.
So for
if there's some Monday through Wednesday gigs, apologies there. Mainly because we don't announce those on the air because they're so far in advance that we normally don't even hear about them until after they're over.
However, if you're in a band and you want a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday plug or whatever, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday plug, drop us a line, man. Drop us an email.
Yep, Cottonmouth at Cottonmouth.org.
There you go.
Real simple.
And then we'll get that on there. We're happy to promote everybody's gigs.
And if you can't remember Cottonmouth, just take a deep breath and
Yeah, man, I know what you mean. I got Cottonmouth. All right.
Anyway, Sunday, Cameron Barton, 2 p.m. at Third Chute in Alton.
Got Anthony Nanney and Company, 1 p.m. and Cross the Line at 6 p.m. That's Fast Eddie's Bon Air.
The Tragg, Tragg Band, 2 to 6 at Grafton Winery.
Then we got Hill Williams, 2 p.m. at the Hog Pit in Grafton, Illinois.
The Yacht Rockers going to be up at the loading dock, 4 p.m. They should be there often.
Yeah, then our buddies Rogers and Neen House, 2 to 6 p.m. up at Wild Pickens in Chesterfield, Illinois.
I know they're excited to be back out there.
Oh, yeah.
They always put everything into it, but I'm telling you, some of these guys have been pent up. You might see a performance like you've never seen out of these guys. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Skylark Brothers, 3 to 7 at Mike LaRosa's Cabana across the river in Portage de Sioux. They can hear us over there.
Then we got movie night again at the cabin at Judy Creek.
Right, drive-in movie night.
Carbon.
Lanny and Julie, 3 p.m. at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville. Boulder Dash, 3 p.m. at Who Dats in Collinsville. That's Southern food right there. Boulder Dash, 3 p.m. And then the Grand Band, 2 p.m. at the Hidden Lake Winery in Abbotsford.
Awesome. There you go.
And don't forget, on Monday nights, the Prairie Inn does stuff up there in Dorsey, and Steve Klein will be there. So there we go. We did it, Pigpen.
Excellent. Perfect timing.
Like we'd been doing it all our lives.
A few months off didn't hurt that bad.
It hurt me. I don't know. My left ankle is killing me.
Oh, geez, I lost my shoes through the whole thing. I lost my shoes and my glasses. I don't know where they're at.
All right, coming up, the big man, big bad Brad Hampton. He's blushing when you say that kind of stuff, probably, ain't he?
Oh, yeah.
I tell you, though, man, there's no one funner to watch play the drums than Brad Hampton. He's always got that look on his face like he's just having the time of his life.
Exactly. When you see somebody just having a good time doing it, it makes you have a good time.
Right on.
And he's one of those cats. Does it with a smile on his face every time.
So Brad Hampton, drummer, who's with Mars Needs Guitars from time to time. A lot of bands around town. They'll talk about that, and playing mainly over at the National Blues Museum, which is what Pigpen and I were interested in and kept asking him stuff about. So,
yeah, that interesting gig because you never know who's going to walk through the door at that place. A lot of big people, big stars come through town on their tours, and they want to stop in there and check it out. So,
all right, so take a quick break, and then we'll head towards Brad Hampton. You're listening to Riverbend Talent. I'm Dennis. Pigpen's the other guy.
Hey.
All right, and we're brought to you each week by Halpin Music, who, if you want to do some lessons, they can do that online. Or they're doing, I think they're open back up. So, you can set up an appointment and do some lessons. That means Kids Rock's going to be firing back up and all that stuff. So, yeah, Halpin misses you. So stop in and thank them for supporting the talent around the area in this radio show so we can tell you each week. And then, of course, Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance. And if you haven't got your insurance through Matt, you are missing out because that guy he'll take care of you.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Took care of me when I needed it.
Oh, yeah, when your motorhome burnt down. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, that's it. Coming up, Brad Hampton next here on Riverbend Talent on the Big Z. Riverbend Talent on the Big Z. I'm Dennis. Pigpen's with me, and it's brought to you by Halpin Music Company and by Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance, Mr. Pigpen. And, Halpin doing their online lessons during the pandemic, which, is kind of cool, man. I'd be a little more comfortable, rehearsing at home, and doing my lesson there where I'm comfortable being. So that might be a way to do lessons. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it might be the new way that a lot of places start doing it because then people don't have to drive in. They could just do their lesson right there online. I'm not sure. I haven't taken an online lesson yet, so I don't know. But I heard from several people that it's pretty cool. You get to sit at home and it's kind of like when you get to stay home and work. It's kind of cool.
Well, I heard Matt Van Voorhis is making house calls because people can't get into the office. So that's what kind of guy he is.
Yeah,
what kind
absolutely.
of insurance guy still does that?
Oh, yeah. He'll come to your house and have some coffee with you, have dinner with you, talk insurance. Ask him to bring a guitar. He might play a few songs for you. I don't know. I mean, I don't think he advertises that, but,
Watch your motorhome burn. You ever watch him? Yeah. You know about that then, don't you, Bacon?
Yeah, you know what? He was when I needed him at my house, he was there quick, and things got solved. The problems got solved, so I was pretty happy in the end.
Yeah.
Very, very happy with Mr. Matt Van Voorhis and Macias Insurance. So tonight, though,
Yeah.
we've got a special guest, somebody that hasn't been on the air with us in over a year, maybe 2 years. Because every Thursday night he's so busy that he can't be on with us because he plays in the house band at the National Blues Museum in St. Louis. But with COVID, shelter down, lie in place, lockdown, all this social distancing, he's home on a Thursday night. So we got Brad Hampton, the great drummer, Mr. Brad Hampton, with us. How's it going, Brad?
And got going real good. I'd like to get back over to the museum, get playing, but we're still down.
Yeah, well, I understand, though, it's going to be starting to open up, but not really to the concert series yet, just starting to open up to some of the other exhibits that are there.
Yeah, that will be the first phase to just let people come in and tour the museum. Large crowds that would be in the concert hall will be at a later date.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You get to play
Now, how often do they normally do shows over there on the National Blues Museum? I know you guys get together on Thursday nights. Is that just a weekend thing for the shows?
Yeah, we just show up and play.
So, but how often do they have concerts over there? Just the once a week on Thursday nights?
No, they got Howlin' Fridays. That's a Friday night concert. Then there's Soulful Sundays on Sunday nights. And then there are some shows that'll be put in there on Saturdays, but they'll be like special shows. And so you got the Sitting on the Porch Jam on every Thursday, and then you'll have a Howlin' Friday concert. That's 7 to 10. And then if you go on Sunday, it's 4 to 7, 4 to 8. It's a little earlier on Sundays, but there's 2 concerts a week. But right now, but this Saturday at the Powerplex, you'll see Jeremiah Johnson.
Yep.
And I think you get to see a movie and Jeremiah Johnson. You get to watch from your car.
Yeah, Steve Scorfina and Chrome and Steel part of that show, and another band opening up for them, and you get a movie too. I'm not sure what the movie is, but
Yeah, I've heard it's kind of a neat deal. It's about $40 a car to get in or something.
yeah, at the St. Louis Perplex or something like that. Of course,
Yeah.
we're recording this. By the time people hear this interview on the radio, that'll be over with. But it is something that started firing up right off the bat in St. Louis, where they're doing shows from a drive-in theater. And the Powerplex is what it's called. And it's Toast and Jam was the other band. I wanted to mention that band because, we haven't got to talk about band names in a while, Big Ben. How about that one, Toast and Jam?
I saw that today when I went on to cottonmouth.org. I saw Toast and Jam, and that made me laugh. I like that one, man. I love it when people come up with nice creative names. I love that Thurston Hale. That's a good name. Or the Pussycat and Swallowtails. That's I love that kind of stuff, man. So
I remember that band that come in 10-pin, Meet the Cleavers.
Right.
That was a good band too.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
So now you're in a position at the National Blues Museum. Pretty sweet. You don't even know who's going to walk through the door that you're going to get to play with sometimes. You get to play with all kinds of neat people. But before we get into that, let's rewind back to 5th grade. That's kind of when the whole thing got started for you and the drums. The whole relationship between you and the drums started, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you could start taking band lessons in grade school. You'd get a rubber pad, and you had to have one kind of a book and a pair of sticks. Go to Save Mart and buy that stuff, and then take it in 5th grade. And by 6th grade, I was in a junior high band playing birthday parties, and then moved on from there. Then didn't play out for a long time, roaded for a lot of bands, watched a lot of other drummers, studied a lot of stuff. I used to go up night gallery and watch Steven Tassel play with the Star Castle and watch him, any kind of good drummer you can find, go out and study their style.
Now, where'd you go to school at?
I was Roxana High.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Johnny Evans, and Larry Vanderveer.
Yeah.
Both good friends. And, those guys are really good drummers. You learn a lot from those guys.
Yeah, Vanderveer knows his way around a drum set. He's all right.
And Miles and Zeb.
I know.
Yeah, over the top.
Yeah, so by high school,
I
you
remember
went bands. What's that?
I remember being, Zeb was 15, and I was in a band with his mom, Gina. And so Zeb was our bass player.
Huh.
Getting playing bars, roadhouses, and stuff. And we did all right, but he had a white Fender Squire bass, and John Monan had just put the 5th string on it. So he was, at 15, he was doing 5-string. But we were running around with Zeb when he was 15, now he's worldwide. Right? So, but you guys,
I think Pigtail, we lost him there.
What's
He
that?
looks frozen in time. There he is. He's back.
Sorry. Oh,
You
did
look
I get
frozen.
up? Sorry about that.
I didn't know if you were faking it. I thought maybe you were trying to play a joke on me.
No. I was sitting there listening, and you guys cut out for a minute. I'm like, I don't know if I lost him or not. So that's cool. You were. So 15, you were playing with some pretty good cats, huh?
Yeah, well, Zeb was at 15, was playing with us, running around, and of course, as long as you're in with Mom and Dad, you can come into the bar and make money.
Nice.
So we did.
Different time.
I was thinking the other day, was it a year ago? I think Vice President Pence came into St. Louis to give a speech, and it was 2 blocks down from the museum. So they called me early, and they said that it's been all, the Secret Service have barricaded the Washington Avenue, that you're not going to be able to come in here. So they had made this plan to go down to BB's on Broadway and get the cymbals. God bless John May. He had borrowed his cymbals, got them to the museum, and they're going to have me come in through the Casino Queen Metro and jump out of the convention center, go into Sugar Fires, and be in there. But by the time I got there, the motorcade had moved and the people had moved, so I was able to get into the city. So when you think the coast is clear, the very next Thursday, President Trump decides to have a speech in Granite City Steel, and everything on Route 3 going north and 270 all the way to the airport is blocked. So I'm going southbound. I got Bucky Buckler with me. We're going to the museum. We get into the city, and we're sitting at a red light, and we see an airplane in the sky that's light blue, the only thing that can be in the sky is the president. So he went right over the top of us the very next week, and it was wild. Yeah, it's just odd things that happen.
Yeah. So how long you been playing over there at the Blues Museum? That's been a few years now, all right?
Yeah, we're going on a third year. We started out as tour guides, and then ended up 4 of us got on stage. They gave us a night to start the jam, and it's supposed to make 30 days to make it fly. So about 4 of us got on stage, and maybe 4 people in the audience. But by the grace of God, Joe Metzger came in, and he helped us out. Thank you. And then by the end of the night, the entire NGK band came in. So Big George Jr. helped us out. So by the time the first night went well, it was on after that. we picked all the other brother drummers out there. Steve Ashbacher comes in on day number 2. He's another ace drummer over there. Dave Rudolph and Marty Spigner. Ron Kraser comes in. But those are just the drummers.
Yeah. That's a heck of an arsenal of percussionists to bust out, right?
Well, you never know if Bobby Rush is going to walk in, or Steve Scarfino, or somebody might. You don't know. David D was a regular in there all the time. Zach Starkey, when the Who came through, he toured in the daytime, though. And Adam Clayton, when U2 played at the Dome, he came through in the daytime. But I walked in, just to do the jam, and I seen a photo shoot going on. I looked through the window, and there was Steve Scarfino and Mike Saffron and Jim Delamano. And then I looked at the people in the chair, and I looked at this woman through a glass window, and I knew it was Bonnie Bramlett. She was in there working with those guys. But they come and they go,
Right? That's pretty cool. You just never know who's going to walk in.
They get me on in 2 weeks.
Oh, in 2 weeks? Okay. Yeah. On which one? On which frequency? FM, AM?
It'll be on both of them on it in 2 weeks.
107, 94, or the AM? Which one?
107.1 FM.
I gotta change that on Facebook.
So what's you guys' next big bash? You doing the Family Fest? Is it coming up this summer? What's going on? Are that shut down because of the amount of people, or what?
Now, I don't know if because of the state regulations, if I'll be allowed to have it. It's too many people in a gathering. So because of what is, you can only have still, it'd have to be hundreds of people allowed to gather before I could have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that don't even come into like phase 5, does it?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I don't even know what.
Yeah. So it's like unless we hit herd immunity in the next month,
Yeah.
I'm not counting on a cure or vaccine too fast, so it would have to be the third. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be allowed to have that this year. So, but hopefully very soon. With it being an outdoor event, I'm hoping more outdoor events get to start opening up because it's people who want to socially distance can socially distance in an outdoor event. Like we were talking about the drive-in, having bands and different things like that. I understand getting in a club packed full of people might be uneasy to folks right now, but I really hope that the open air venues get to open up really soon.
Yeah, you kind of go out and it's social distancing, but it looks like starting tomorrow night and Saturday, the bands are going to be out there, and I know they'll be up. I've seen the advertisements. They're going to be up in Grafton on Sunday. So the bands are out there, and every musician I know would want to help every restaurant and bar owner out there. So they try to do what they can to get the business back.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, this has caused some people to lose their businesses. Already a few bar owners saying they're not reopening, and I know a lot of band guys are hurting too, especially guys who count on that extra income, or that's their only income. So it's hard to say when they're going to allow actual concerts or sporting events or big, 1,000 type people or whatever, the gatherings of 1,000 or more to recoup again. I don't know.
Big Pen, you said a term I don't think I've ever heard before. Maybe you can fill me in. I think you said herd immunity. Is that what I heard? Is that a real thing?
Yes, that is a real thing, and that means like 60% of the population has already had the COVID or whatever it is you're trying to. They consider 60% plus to have had it considered herd immunity. 60, I think
so.
60, yeah.
So, 60% of the people have to have it, and that's called herd immunity. And we are cattle, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, we solved it. Oh, dang.
We're a herd.
Okay.
I didn't make up the term.
I'm just wondering. I never.
Major League Baseball, no fans. NASCAR, no fans.
Yeah, I was able to see the end of the first NASCAR race, and I think it was Kevin Harvick won that, and he gets out of the car, and he's like, this is weird, because there's no crowd. It's just complete silence, And he did his burnout and the whole thing like they always do, because he was excited to win. And then, the big thing is you jump out of the car and you hear the crowd. That's why you do this, right? And you can see it immediately across his face like, whoa, this is... He couldn't even talk to the guy interviewing him because it was so surreal,
Yeah.
Get out and thank your pit crew. That's all you can do. There's nobody else.
Right.
We were just talking to a great percussionist named Blake Fleming. I don't know if you know Blake or not, but he got lucky enough to do some arena touring, like opening for the Red Hot Chili Peppers and stuff in the 90s. And he said that it was very awkward. You think it sounds great, but there's barriers. You can't get you finish your set and you don't get to go party with the people who enjoyed the set. You have to sit back in a hockey dressing room or something by yourself. And I imagine that's how that guy felt when he won. He probably wanted to go party with the fans and hold up the cup and have a pretty girl kiss him. And instead, the pit crew's patting him on the back, going, "Hey, good job, buddy. That burnout was cool."
Yeah.
This pretty girl rubbed some hand sanitizer on him. She had a mask on and gloves and everything. It wasn't quite the same. No, that's fake news.
She rubbed her hand sanitizer.
All this thing that down Lake of the Ozarks, everybody was all partying together and stuff. That's going to be. I could see not much happening out of that. Just.
Yeah.
And there was a guy who had COVID that hit 6 bars, and I've been waiting to see the fallout from it. Well, it's hard to, I don't see it yet, but
I didn't see a whole lot of fallout when they let them go down in the beaches in Florida, and they was side by side on some of the beaches, and then they sent them home.
Well, they say only time will tell. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Tune in next week for another exciting episode.
That's the cliffhanger. Tune in next week to see if we're still alive.
We'll have to get you guys to come over to the museum and do a show live.
All right.
because besides us, we live stream everything, so, and it's archived. So any show that you want to see, if you want to see the Chapman Brothers, you want to see Little Dylan, you want to see Lucius Spiller, Marquise Knox, you can go find any of those concerts, and you can watch a 3-hour show every day if you want. And it's cool the way they did it, They got archives. You can go find. You want to listen to David D. You can go listen to David D. If you want to listen to Bobby Rush, you can find Bobby Rush. So, your voice is gone.
Well, his voice disappeared again, of course, right while I was typing. See?
And that voice.
I don't know what he does, but at the end of every interview, he just miraculously disappears. I think it's a scam.
He switched camera views now.
Now, is that nationalbluesmuseum.org, I guess, is where you can find all that? That's what the website's listed as. Is that probably the right place to go then?
Yeah, on Facebook, you just type in National Blues Museum, and you'll like their page, and then there's videos, and there's photos, and there's the people that's come and gone, and some of these bands have been in the International Blues Challenges, and as it come out of, Miss High C1, she represented St. Louis and won a couple years ago, but we sent two down with Jeff Chapman this year. But if there's somebody comes from St. Louis and represents St. Louis every year in Memphis, the International Blues Challenge. So.
Let's see if Pigpen's working. Are you working yet, Pigpen? Nope, he's not. This is the best part of the show, Brad, because for the first time, Pigpen's quiet. We can talk about him and say anything we want, and he is strapped down. He cannot come back on us.
His mic is off, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like.
Remember the first time you met Pigpen? He was wearing diapers, I think.
He's like watching the station or something.
So yeah, we lost Pigpen again at the end of this interview, but the good news is we should be back in the studios on a regular basis by the time this interview airs. We're recording this one on June 4th, and we expect it to air about 2 weeks from now. So, and we appreciate you stopping in, Brad, and telling us about the National Blues Museum. That's at nationalbluesmuseum.org. I was trying to do that all at one time. That's why I wasn't coming out very good. There's a little button there that says Watch Live. So I guess anytime you guys are live, you just click on there and check it out.
Yeah. Every Thursday night, and we're live. And
that's pretty awesome.
Everything is live streamed globally, and it's archived, so you can watch any show from years back. You can probably, I don't know when they start live streaming. It wasn't from day one, but we got back pretty far. It's a neat way to go back and find your players if you like Jeremiah Johnson and Marquise Knox and stuff. Those guys are really good.
Yeah, there's a whole list of folks that like John Goodman and the Blues Brothers. He's on the website there. So I mean, the list goes on into infinity of folks that have come through the National Blues Museum in St. Louis, and some people don't like to drive over to the city, so it's kind of nice. You can just get online and watch it. I mean, I like that idea for sure.
Yeah, that's a handy idea that came up with you. But you look at off to the side, the people who answered throughout the years. It's people from all around the world: Australia, New Zealand, Iceland, and have people have joined in. A lot of from South America. They check into us in Mexico, so it's getting out there. Kind of cool.
I've heard a lot of bluesmen say over the years that they really enjoyed St. Louis as part of their stop between New Orleans and Chicago, because that was a big run for a lot of the old bluesmen, you know, coming up from the South and making their way through Memphis, up through St. Louis and on to Chicago. But they really loved St. Louis because they get a little money when they made it to St. Louis, usually because it was such a big deal here in this area. And so that's awesome to think that our music scene goes way back to the very beginning.
Yeah, they put together tours, juke joint tours, and they might leave St. Louis in a bus, and they'll take you down to Memphis maybe the first day, and you'll spend some time on Beale Street. Then they'll take you down a little farther to B.B. King's Museum, and then they'll hit well-known juke joints along the way.
Nice.
They're going down Highway 61, and they're taking you down.
Right.
And then they'll take you down to Clarksdale, Mississippi, where you can stand in the crossroads if you want to.
Uh-huh. Brad, have you been down there or something? I have. It's a really neat journey. And so they set up those tours through the museum, huh?
Yeah, every now and then you'll see a juke joint tour or something, and it would be a whole lot of fun if you take a week away from work or 10 days or whatever it is to go down there and come back. But they'll take you to all the cool places where it's going to take you in deep blues.
Right. The history of blues and rock and roll all together, because, rockers ripped off all them bluesmen anyways, right? So, yeah, that's a pretty cool gig you got over there at the National Blues Museum, and we appreciate you coming on board for a little while and talking to us about what goes on over there, and I know you're looking forward to getting back to work, right?
Yeah, I can't wait to get back over there. I'm missing all the guys, and we're from everywhere, from anywhere from St. Peter's down to Tower Grove to Alton to Caseyville. They're from everywhere. So some are from Brazil. It takes a little while.
And, we're talking to Brad Hampton tonight. He is a drummer over at the National Blues Museum on Thursday nights, and plays with occasionally with bands around town like the Mad Baileys and Mars Needs Guitars, and he's on Riverbend Talent tonight. And thank you again, Brad, for coming on for a little while and talking to us. Pigpen is shaking his head, so he probably agrees with that, but I don't like to put words in his mouth, but I just did.
Peace.
Right on. Let's see if I can put some more words into his mouth. Let me see what I want him to say. I need 2 cheeseburgers. He's holding up 2. I need 2 cheeseburgers, and he'll pay me on Tuesday. This sounds familiar. Maybe. He might. See, I can read his body language. Anyway. So let's tune into the video to check all that out. We are on the radio as well tonight, and we've been talking to Brad Hampton, the drummer, who sits in with the Mad Baileys, Mars Needs Guitars, and plays every Thursday night at the National Blues Museum, nationalbluesmuseum.org. Thanks once again, Brad, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. We'll see you around town.
All right. You're listening to Riverbend Talent, brought to you by the Halpin Music Company and by Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance. I'm not sure if he insures Pigpen's voice, but we might have to check in and see if he's still got it next week here. So we'll be back. Maybe. No, I don't know what's happening.
Peace.
Pigpen's not talking, so.